What's up, everybody, and welcome on back to the episode of the My Side of Things podcast. This is now episode 34. I'm your host, as always, Ash. We got a whole lot of things on the docket to get to today, including talking about wrestlers whose windows may be closing, whether it be in the world title scene or in that mid-card title scene. We're also going to be talking about Gunther versus Goldberg and whether or not this match should actually even be happening. We're also going to be talking about Io Sky and her getting benched as of recently and whether or not this is a good decision by WWE, what's possibly going on with it. We're going to be talking about Evolution and some reports that are around that, while also looking back at the 2018 Evolution and ranking each of the matches. We're talking about missing 6 belts, Mercedes Moné. We're going to have a real conversation about this too, because little old me is getting a whole lot of tired. And we're going to also be talking about Mr. Kazuchika Okada versus Mr. Kenneth Jerome Omega. And is there any worries about this match, seeing as how one of these two has looked in their past few matches? But before we do get into all that stuff though, whether you listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts at, make sure you like, follow, share, rate, comment, subscribe, whatever you possibly can do for the free 99. But if you do feel like spending $1 because you got a little dollar in your bank account, then maybe you want to go sub on over to the Patreon. Shout out to all the Patreon subs, by the way. Every single one of y'all are definitely helping the page out. You're helping the content out. You're just helping me out in general. I definitely appreciate every one of y'all that is sub to, the Patreon. I appreciate all y'all that are just, listening to the podcast, supporting the podcast. You're definitely helping a poor person's dreams. You're just helping a wee little boy's dreams. No, I'm not a little English kid. Don't worry about that. I am definitely not. Oh my gosh. But before we do jump into everything though, so as I was watching Evolution back last night, right? Because I actually came up with a lot of these topics before I was even, available to topics and all that stuff. I actually wanted to add a few more things. I was like, well, let me talk about Evolution, because Evolution is coming up with the reports and all that stuff. So let me go back and watch the old Evolution. And then it got me thinking about a few weeks ago on a TikTok live, me and a few mutuals of mine, which I'll probably have them on the podcast eventually sometime in the future, because we always have some pretty good conversations. We were doing a ranking. I can't remember what we were exactly ranking. I don't know if it was like best wrestlers or what we were ranking. It's something we're ranking. And then somebody came in the chat and they were like, yo, what about this person? What about that person? And I was like, I personally didn't know who the hell they even was. I'm gonna be real with you, man. I don't watch no 80s wrestling, 90s wrestling, but my mutual, he knew who they were because he's pretty much like a WWE historian when it comes to knowing all that stuff. And I was thinking, I was like, dang, man, watching Evolution, because that popped in my head. I started thinking about just Evolution and like the growth of the women's division and all that stuff. And I was like, damn, I'm going to be able to be that person in like 30, 40 years that says, yo, remember this AEW wrestler? Like, yeah, it immediately went to AEW. Mind you, I was watching Toni Storm versus Io Sky, formerly known as Io Shirai at the time. So, like, that's why it did, like, start clicking for me with AEW and all that. And I was like, damn, I'm going to be like, yo, y'all might know Timeless Toni Storm, but do you know Toni Storm with the Outcast? Do you know her with Saraya and Ruby Soho when they was feuding against Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, and Hikaru Shida? Like, do y'all even know about Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa's unsanctioned match? Like, I'm going to be able to have, like, so many just, like, really cool pulls, and it's not even just those, but it's, like, so many other ones as well. Like, I'm going to be able to talk about Riho, the first women's champion. Going to be able to talk about Chris Jericho and how big of a moment that was, while I was talking about Double or Nothing and how big of a moment that was with Jon Moxley making his debut there. Just so many different moments, man. Like Hangman Adam Page with the Stampede, with the Stadium Stampede match, with him on the horse chasing after Sammy Guevara, with Hangman and the Elite eventually getting kicked out of the Elite, and then going with Dark Order, feuding with the Elite, getting to eventually take down Kenny Omega, getting his first world championship, thinking back to Better Than You Baby, thinking about even just Hangman with the not with the Elite. Did I say with the Elite? I meant to say with the Dark Ones. I mean with the Dark Order, because he eventually ended up joining them as well. Thinking about Brody Lee as well with the Dark Order, and just like, being one of those person that like reminisces on like, dang, what could have been, man, just screw, man, Brody might have got that world championship, and I'm getting in my feels now, man, talking about Brody, man, RP to Brody, but like, just all these amazing things. And I guess like it's starting to, it really made me like feel like, okay, maybe this is why there's so many WWE fans that are like just so heavily tied to WWE, like even more than the wrestlers, because they have some of these same feelings that I'm starting to now have about AEW. And just like the more and more that I like think about all the things I'll be able to like, talk about in the future with people, like it does get me more attached to AEW in a sense. And I'm like, well, damn, maybe that's why. Like, and mind you, I still feel every single sentiment that I feel about just like fans of a company in general. I think you should be fans of the wrestlers first, company second. I think you should always, support the wrestlers, because like these companies, they'll try to make you forget about a wrestler and all that stuff. And I'm gonna be real with you, man. Even though like I be cracking jokes here, here and there about Britt Baker, I'm not gonna forget Britt Baker, man. I think she did a lot for that women's division. I think that she was an absolute beast for her time period. I think that Thunder Rosa was a beast for her time period. She still has one of my favorite matches at Double or Nothing against Serena Deeb. That match was absolutely awesome, man. That's like one of my favorite just matches in like AEW history in general. And so it's like, I definitely think that you should be a fan of the wrestler first, but I do understand why so many people are fans of the companies. And it's just like, even like fans of the company first. It's like, how can you not be a fan of the company when you just grew up with the company? Like for me, obviously I didn't grow up with AEW because, it was around when I was an adult already. But like being able to continue to grow with AEW, that's a really cool thing. And it's like, it's just like, dang, man, like the pools that I'm going to be able to have, like, I just, oh, man, I'm going to be hitting folks with like bro, where was y'all when Will Ospreay was going against Roderick Strong for the international championship? Where was y'all when Will Ospreay was feuding with Undisputed Kingdom in that whole entire time period? Oh, man, imagine if Adam Cole was around during that time period too. Yo, we really could have gotten Will Ospreay and MJF versus Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Damn. Oh, that would have been crazy to see. That would have been crazy to see, y'all. Because, like, we know, like Will Ospreay, MJF, like, their history and all that stuff with the international title that became the American title. I still can't freaking hate the gimmick so much. But he's going to be basically my Roddy Piper, because I can't stand Roddy Piper either. Mind you, I didn't grow up on Roddy Piper. I happened to go back and watch a lot of Roddy Piper. Can't stand the man, but I know how damn talented he is. But it's like, damn, I'm going to be able to have that pool. I'm going to be able to have, the Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb pool. I'm going to be able to have Britt Baker versus Saraya versus Thunder Rosa. I'm not Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida at All In. I'm going to be able to be like, yo, man, like, because I know the women's wrestling is eventually going to be able to take off. It's going to be able to eventually take off. And I'm going to be one of the people that's like, yo, I was there, man. I was there when it was just 1 or 2 women's matches, when it was just one woman's match on the dang show. I was there. I thugged it out. For this beautifulness is going to happen in the future, because I definitely believe that we're going to be getting a whole lot more women's matches in the future. So I'm just going to have to keep thugging it out right now, keep calling all the BS out whenever I see the BS and all that stuff. And let me tell you right now, if I only see 1 or 2 women's matches on this damn All-In show this year, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of BS. But, like, it's just such a cool thing to think about. Like, man, it really is, because I do believe that AEW is going to stand the test of time. Like, I don't think AEW is going to, go anywhere. I think AEW is pretty much solidified now. I think, like, once you last 5 years, as long as there's not, like, any kind of, like, funny business and all that stuff, like, ECW had, like, Paul Heyman not paying folk. He was also kind of aligned with WWE still. So, like, that's why ECW kind of went down, and WCW, they just, child WCW just had a whole lot of problems. But it's like, I think, for the most part, I think Tony Khan's going to get it right. And I feel like the companies that have come out, like, since the basically, like, the 2000s, like, the TNAs, I guess Ring of Honor still kind of, what was Ring of Honor? Was that, like, the 90s? No, it was, that was definitely the 2000s as well. Like, Ring of Honor, TNA, like they were able to stand the test of time. And I feel like the companies that didn't align with WWE and didn't try to go to war with WWE, for the most part, they lasted. And I don't think Tony Khan's going to try to go to war with WWE. I think even though, like, AEW is getting hotter and hotter, if he was going to try to go to war, I feel like he would have probably tried it by now. I think he's kind of already, like, semi-tried it in the past and just realized that it's not going to happen. So, like, there's no point in even, like, trying to do it and seeing TNA try to do it and seeing WCW try to do it. Like, I think he's pretty much like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. I'm going to keep my partnership up with CMLL, with New Japan. I got Ring of Honor and all this stuff. So it's like, oh, man, I'm going to be able to see the rebirth of Ring of Honor someday too, man. So hope I'm around for that one. But, like, oh, man, it's just, it's just cool to think about, man. It really, really is. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, damn, man. And you know what's crazy? It's like, somebody else is going to have this feeling about another company, because there's going to be other companies coming up. Like, you have Deadlock Pro Wrestling coming up right now. You have GCW coming on up right now. So somebody's going to be able to say, like, yo, I was a Deadlock Pro fan. Like I was a day one fan. I was there, like, real early, you know, and all that. Like, back, like, what was that, like before Jay Malachi and all that. Javon Evans, for those of y'all that are, like, just WWE fans that might not know about Jay Malachi. But, like, before even, like, you know, him and all that stuff, and GCW and all that. So it's like, damn, man. That's like, that's why I'm trying to, like, get into more and more wrestling, because I want to be able to talk about, like, you know, just more than AEW, like, not like right now, but right now too, but like in like 30, 40 years, be able to talk about, like, yo, Deadlock Pro Wrestling and all stuff, like, because I know it's going to get on. I know Deadlock's going to get on. I know GCW is going to get on. I know, I think Maple Leaf might end up getting on as well. I think they might end up doing some big things in Canada. I would love to see, like, a big Canadian, like, wrestling company, because I think, like, every country definitely needs theirs. You know, you have, like, Rev Pros coming up in Europe. You have, but, like, they're still independent, but you have New Japan that's coming up. Like, well, not coming up. You have New Japan that's a staple in Japan. You have Stardom that's a staple in Japan. You have Noah on the rise. You have Marigold and TJPW on the rise as well. You have CMLL in Mexico. You have AAA. Well, they kind of got, they're done. They're done. They're done. But, like, I would love to see, like a Canadian, like major professional wrestling company. So I think MLP could be that one. I would love to see one in, you know, Africa as well. I think that'd be really dang awesome. I know there's SGW. It's a Ugandan league. It's soft ground wrestling, I think. Like, so, like, they have, you know, their thing out there. They're getting really, really big on TikTok and on Instagram and all that stuff. A lot of people really love their matches. I really love their matches too. One of my mutuals, Zodiac, actually ended up sending that to me, and I've just been following them ever since, man. I've been checking out all their matches. Like, it's really, really cool to see, like, their matches play out. So I would love to just see all of this, man. I think, like, it'd be really cool. And imagine, like, if we got all these dang companies and we had, like, a global wars, like, global wrestling, like, wars, like, just like how, what was it? I think it was CMLL and New Japan that are doing theirs right now. I think it actually happened the same day as AEW Grand Slam Mexico, but then it's being aired on Friday. Like, I would love to see, like, Canada versus America versus Europe versus Japan versus Asia versus Africa versus Mexico. Like, that, oh my God, that'd be sick. Hey, man, if we get Antarctica in there too, man, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, man, we can go ahead, you know, we can get Antarctica up in there too. Like, bro, that, like, it would just be so cool to, like just to see, man, like what the wrestling world can be coming to, like, within, like, 20, 30 years. And that's why, like, I'm really, really against monopolization of wrestling, because it's just, like, I like partnerships. I don't like just buying out companies. I feel like it just kills so much, you know, possibilities that could happen in the future. Like, me personally, I'm against all that stuff, because it kills them, you know. It's just, and it's not like a cool thing. It's just like, dude, I want to see all this stuff eventually play out. I don't want to just see one powerhouse company, like, take over the whole entire wrestling industry and all that. I think it's just because you only get one style of wrestling, and to me, that's just not that fun. I like seeing, you know, the different styles. I like seeing AEW. I like seeing WWE. I like seeing New Japan. I like seeing, you know, CMLL. I like seeing MLP. I like seeing GCW. I like seeing DPW. So I like seeing SGW. I like seeing all these different companies do their own things and all that stuff, and be able to, you know, give wrestling in different ways. I think that's, like, really, really cool. But, you know, I guess that's enough for just the random rambling and all that stuff. Let's go ahead and jump on into our first topic of the day, though, which is wrestlers whose windows are not still completely closed and still do have a chance to kind of, I guess you could say, get back what once was. You know, like, for instance, a wrestler like Roman Reigns. You know, he's someone that's started off really dang hot, then became the big dog, and it wasn't always the greatest. I will say okay, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. There actually are some really dang great times during that whole entire time period with the big dog, but it's like, for the most part, no, not pretty at all. But then he eventually became the tribal chief. You have Cody Rhodes, who, you know, had a really good run in WWE at first, and then, you know, had to leave and all that stuff, and eventually got back on with WWE. So wrestlers like that, not just your top guys, but your bottom guys as well. Bottom guys is sick. Oh my gosh, man. I have so many jokes there that I just don't know if I can make or not. So I'm just going to go ahead and not make those jokes. But the first wrestler I want to talk about is Austin Theory. I also do want to say that this is going to be divided into two categories. Could be a world champion, could be a consistent mid-card champion, and then I just think that they're just completely closed, and it's not going to happen. So with Austin Theory, I think the world title scene is closed. I think for the most part, I don't really see it fully open. I think it's like a crack, you know. There's like look, the door's not fully closed, but like, you know, like how like you close your door like almost all the way, but not like all the way completely. I think that's what it is for Austin Theory. I think the world title scene is just more or less so just not going to be a thing. I think there's just too many people that are coming up right now that showed way more promise than Austin Theory. I think this whole thing with Grayson Waller and not breaking up with him, but now they're kind of, you know, starting to push it a little more. Maybe that does push him into some big scenes, but it's just like you have guys like Braun Breaker who's still freaking elite and is really dang young. I think he's around the same age as Austin Theory. You have Dominic Mysterio who's still under 30. You have Obafemi under 30. You have Javon Evans who's coming on up. You have Trick Williams who's looking a little better. Maybe WWE really takes him seriously now. You have what's his name? Jacob Fatu. You have Solo Sikoa. You have just so many wrestlers who are coming up right now, whether they be in NXT, whether they be on the main roster already. You have like just so many of them that it's just like, I don't know if Austin Theory is going to be able to get into that world title picture, because we still do have a lot of the older guys who are going to be going strong for the next few years. Like I think Cody Rhodes is going to be, you know, still in that world title scene for the next 3 to 4 years, possibly even 5 years. Just Seth Rollins is likely going to still be in it. Roman Reigns, depending on what happens with him, I know he has like his cancer and all that stuff, so I don't know if he's going to be a guy that's going to be around for the next 4 or 5. Not around like that. Let me make that clear. I mean, just around in wrestling. Even though I might not like the political thing and all that stuff, I still hope that the best for him. I hope that he's able to be healthy and all that stuff. But like, you know, we don't know how long he's going to be in that world title picture, but if he's, you know, relatively still healthy enough to continue, you know, wrestling at like the level that he believes that he can wrestle at, while also still having his body to be good enough, I think that he's a guy that's still going to be in that world title scene. You're going to have guys like possibly Gunther that's still there. I forgot to mention Ilya Dragunov's another guy as well. So it's like, I think for Austin Theory, the world title scene, and Carmelo Hayes too, still there as well. I think for a guy like Austin Theory, the world title scene is probably more or less closed off. I think there's a possibility that maybe he could snag himself one, but I think for the most part, he's probably going to be somewhere in that mid-card scene. If even that, I think this one is way more likely. I don't think it's just completely closed off for him. Like, I think he still has somewhat of a chance. I think especially in that mid-card scene, because he's only like 26, 27 years old, so I think he could easily, you know, snag him a few mid-card titles throughout the years. I think he's a guy that can end up being a consistent mid-carder. He already has gotten like 1 to 2 of them. 2 of them, 2. So there's a possibility he could get like a few more U.S. championships, a few more IC titles. He could be really one of those guys that we don't really talk about the U.S. title scene. You know, like we talk about Miz, we talk about Wade Barrett, we talk about Cody Rhodes, we talk about Kofi Kingston, we talk about Chris Jericho, and a lot of these other like consistently, or not consistently, these multi-time mid-card IC champions. But we don't really talk about anybody in that U.S. scene, you know, like we talk about, you know, maybe like a John Cena, but that's really kind of it. Like we don't really talk about anybody there. So maybe Austin Theory could be a guy that does revive the U.S. title. Maybe he's somebody that has like 5, 6, 7, 8 U.S. title runs. And, you know, we just start looking at it and being like, whoa, maybe, you know, maybe it's not as bad as we thought it was. Maybe the U.S. title scene is pretty damn good. So it's like, I think he could be somewhere around there. The world title scene is just like, I think the mic work and the character work is lacking so much that I just don't think that he'll be able to get there. But I think his mic and character work is good enough for that mid-card scene. Because I think someone like Dolph Ziggler was never like a great mic worker or character worker, yet he was able to be a consistent mid-card guy because he was just an amazing wrestler, amazing seller, and he had his moments where he looked pretty dang good. Someone like, you know, Kofi Kingston, I think he's pretty fine with the mic and character. No, his mic work is really good. His character work is kind of just there for the most part. I think it's not like the greatest, not the worst. But he's been someone that was able to be a consistent mid-card guy. You have someone even like Cody Rhodes, who early on, you know, you could say that his mic and character work was, well, his character work was really damn good. His wrestling was just pretty decent. I didn't think it was like the greatest thing in the world, and he got a whole lot better later on. But it's like, I think like if you're just like really, really good in one area and like decent to above decent in the other areas, I think you can be a consistent mid-card guy. And I think like that's where I could see Austin Theory. Now, the next guy I have up here is Finn Balor. And I think the world title reign is just closed off. I think it's completely sealed. I do not ever see this guy touching the world title ever again. One, age, and two, I just don't see WWE pushing him like that. Like, unless he leaves WWE, then maybe, but I think as long as he's in WWE, it's just not going to happen. Although I would love to see this guy go back to New Japan and get his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship reign that he never got, that he probably should have gotten, to be honest. And if they're booking guys like Hiroki Goto, who's 43, 44 right now, I think Finn Balor, he could definitely, like if he was like to leave within like the next year or two, he could be a guy to get that belt as well. So yeah, I think like WWE wise though, that world title scene, I think that's just completely closed off. The mid card scene, I think he's a guy that could still be there. It's just, I don't know with him, like, if he's going to get one or not, because I do suspect that he's going to get the IC title from Dominic Mysterio. But I think if he doesn't get this one, if he does not get it, I think that's just it. I think the mid card is just closed off because, like, where else, like how else does he get one? Because he's not gonna get a Money in the Bank and then cash in on a mid card. I don't even think he's gonna get a Money in the Bank. So it's like, okay, you're not getting that. I could see him winning like a number one contenders match in the future to possibly get it, but it's just like if he doesn't get this one, if he does not beat Dominic Mysterio for this belt, which I do believe he should. I believe that Finn Balor should defeat Dominic Mysterio because he lost to Damian Priest this time. I think you need to get your big win. He also lost to Edge as well, so he's lost every single Judgment Day feud. I think he needs to get at least one of them, although if the history repeats itself, he's definitely going to lose this one as well. But it's like, I think Finn Balor, I think this is it, though. I think if he does not get this win over Dominic Mysterio, that's it. It's closed off. Like, I think the door is pretty much, I think his mid-card door is like Austin Theory's world title door, where it's just like, it's right there. Like, if you don't get it now, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Maybe he'll get some tag belts, but it's a wrap. Like, I'm going to honestly say that I think for him, it's just closed off right now. I think it is. I think that his title scene is just, that's it. I don't see him. I would love for him to win the IC title. I just don't see them taking it off of Dom. Unless they're going to run like Sheamus versus Finn, which I would love to see, but they probably don't do that. I think what they could possibly do is run like Rusev versus Dom and then run back Rusev versus Sheamus. They can end up doing that. I don't know, though. Well, then again, if Dom becomes a face within the future, I think that actually could happen. So, yeah. But I'm going to say for Finn, it's probably closed off. Now, the next guy I have here, this one's going to hurt. It's Wes Lee. That world title scene is closed off. It is closed the hell off. That door is slammed shut, locked, mad padlocks. That door big as hell too. Like it's like the door that Kilo was pushing when he was going back to his house. That big old gate that he had. Yeah, that's the door that Wes Lee going to push, man. And that thing's just it sucks for Wes Lee, man. It really, really does. It really, really does. Because I think this guy is uber talented. His 2023 run is a thing of beauty, man. That North American title run, it's just, it's like one of my favorite just title runs in WWE or in NXT history. Like, it's just a thing of beauty, man. And it's just, it sucks that he's probably never going to get to like a world title picture now in WWE. I think if he leaves the company, there's a very good chance. I think if he's to go to like a New Japan, a TNA, AEW, a Ring of Honor, I think he definitely could get one of their world titles. I think in WWE, though, that's just it. And I think the same thing with the mid-card, too. I think Wes Lee is just done. I think that this guy is literally just sticking around now in WWE to keep collecting a check. They know he's really talented and not going to let him go because he might end up going to like AEW or something like that. That's a competition. They just not going to have that happen. I think if he gave them like the word that he was just going to like, or if he gave them his word that he was going to go to TNA, then I think they wouldn't really have a problem with him. They probably would just put him over there themselves. But like, because he probably hasn't given them his word, it's just not gonna happen. And so I think the mid card scene, I like specifically WWE, not NXT. I think maybe he can get another NXT one, but probably not though, because I think that's like the most open right now, and even then, that's like slightly open, man. That NXT championship definitely is closed off too. I'm gonna be real with you. Man. He got them two big old dudes, and it's still closed off, man. I hate it for Wes Lee so much. I really, really do. Like, this guy is way too talented to not be, a champion, but it's just not going to happen. I think it's not going to happen, especially in WWE. Like I said, anywhere else, maybe it's obviously a lot more likely, I think, especially like within like TNA, but in WWE, it's not it. It's not it. Now, I did do 3 men, 3 women. So on the women's side of things, I love how I'm looking at my like AEW and WWE list, and this is like the names you're gonna hear for the WWE list is for the AEW list. Like, bro, wait, hold on, why'd you pick these guys for AEW, but then you pick those guys for WWE? Like, it's funny. But for the women's side of things, I have Alba Fyre is my first one. World title closed off. I don't see it happening. Also, I came up with these names because like these are usually names that a lot of people end up talking about, so that's why I pick these names just to understand why I pick these names. I think for Alba Fyre, it's just closed off, though. Like, man, what could have been? What could have been for Kaylee Ray? Oh, my gosh, man. To see her go from an NXT Women's Champion, to see Rhea Ripley get it, to see Toni Storm get it, and both of them have just had superstar successful careers, and then just to see Alba Fyre, Kaylee Ray just never get it, never even sniff it, never. Not an NXT Women's Championship, not a North American Women's Championship, not a mid-card championship, not a world title, nothing. Tag titles, got the tag titles. Woo, woo. Oh, man. For those of y'all that have been like, just listening to the podcast long enough to now follow me on any kind of socials, y'all know, man, Alba Fyre is my dog right there, man. That's one of my goats. And it's just like, she's uberly talented, man. But I think the world title scene, even though I think like in AEW, she would be getting that thing real quick. In WWE, it's just, it's not it. It's not it. Mid-card, I think a mid-card is open. I think a mid-card is very much so viable. I think that she could easily sneak her way into that U.S. title picture against a Julia. I think Julia's going to need some opponents. I could see eventually Julia losing that to Alba Fyre, especially if Alba does break away from the Secret Service and go face. That'd be like a little great face-heel storyline or story dynamic right there. And I think Alba and Julia would just be absolutely awesome in a match. I would love to see these two women wrestle against each other. So I think the mid-card scene is honestly very open for her. I think she could easily get in there. I think Chelsea's probably not going to get any more. Maybe like 1 to 2 more, but probably not anymore. Piper's a very real possibility. I think everybody wants Piper to get it. But I can see Alba Fyre being like the dark horse there and being the one that does end up getting that. And so like, I think her mid-card title scene is very much so open. I think for a lot of the women, it's very much so open in that mid-card scene. Depending on like, for the most part, for most of the women, not all of them, but for most of them. And I think Alba is one of those that it's open with, man. I'd be surprised if WWE didn't just give her one. Like, I think just 1 to 2 of them will be fine. You can give her an IC title in the future if you really want to as well. But man, oh man, looking back, man, the day she retires, I have to look back on her career and I just see like no world titles. And if I had to see no mid-card titles, I'm gonna be sick to my stomach, man. I'm gonna be sick to my stomach. But next up, though, we have Raquel Rodriguez. World title is probably closed off as well. I think this one's like very, very much so just closed off. Mind you, there's like always a world where she could finally just get the big push from WWE. But I think with Stephanie, with Julia, I guess just on Raw, with Stephanie, with Liv, with Rhea, with Io, well, then again, maybe she might get a better pushing than Io. But like with Roxanne there, I think that for Raquel, it's probably not in the world title scene. I don't think it's completely closed off because I think there's a very real world where like Liv could get it back and then Raquel could get it off of Liv and she has like one just really big heel run with the belt or maybe even like a face run with the belt. But I think for the most part, it's probably like a little more open than I would say Austin Theory's, but not like a lot by any means. For the mid-card scene, I think that one's wide open as well. I think for her, there's a very real possibility that she could get a mid-card belt, especially if what happens, if what I think is going to happen, which is Raquel siding with Roxanne and staying with Judgment Day, and then them eventually breaking up, like Raquel and Roxanne. I could see a world where Roxanne gets that mid-card belt, and then Raquel gets the mid-card belt from her. She finally breaks away to be a face. I could very much so see that happening. I think that'd be really good for Raquel. I think it'd be really good for Roxanne. I think Raquel would be a really awesome mid-card champion, as long as she's not doing that little stupid like back flex thing where she's just over here like, look at my muscles. look at my muscles, everybody, look at my muscles. Like, I don't need to do, we don't need to see this anymore, man. I hate that I still got to see this in 2K25. It's one of the most annoying things in the world, y'all. Ugh, I hate it so much. But I think the mid-card scene, wide open. World title scene, that's things get a little interesting. But I think for that one, it's slightly more open than Austin Theory's, but not by like a large margin by any means. And the last one we have up here for the WWE side of things is Natalya. I think for the world title scene, it's closed off. That door is slammed shut. Unless we go Natty Neidhart, that's a whole different thing. But we're talking about Natalya, not Natty Neidhart. And I just don't see it for Natalya. Like, I don't think there's a world where WWE's like, yeah, let's just give her one woman's title run. I think even then, no. Like, if maybe, you know, if she was related to The Rock, then maybe. But no, I don't think so. Mid-card, I think this one's, I think for her, it's just closed off in general. Like I said, if this was Natty Neidhart, 1,000% yes, give her a mid-card belt. But because it's Natalya, we know how WWE's been with Natalya, I just don't think so, man. I don't think so. And it sucks, too, because I really like Natty Neidhart. I think she's absolutely amazing, awesome wrestler. I think her mic work, her character work is really damn good. But when when the flip turns on to Natalya, there's just not much there. There's just not much there. WWE does not really do much with her. They don't ever try to push her. It's just, man. It sucks too. Cause like I think I came in here a few episodes ago and I said that I really want to see Natty Neidhart get a push. I want to see her get something, and it's just like she's probably not gonna get that, to be honest. Now for AEW side, like I said, the names are gonna be wonky. This first name is pretty much not that wonky though. It's Adam Cole. So Adam Cole right now is 35, and he's a TNT champion. And his run has just been kind of mid. I'm gonna be real with you. It's not really been impressive at all. There is the possibility that there is like the possibility that he was hurt and then they kind of just rested him up and let him come back, or let him take a little bit of time off, rest up, all that stuff. And now he's having matches and all that, but he ain't doing nothing as far as storylines. He ain't doing a damn thing. He has shown he could be healthy, so there is that. I think for the world title scene, that's just pretty much so a donezo. I hate it too because it's like, damn, this is Adam freaking Cole, man. He should be a world champion. He really should, but there's so many guys in that world title scene, and with only one world title, it's like, I don't see that possibility. Now, there is always the thing of like, if the unified title is actually treated as a world title, then maybe he could get that belt. So, like, if that one does actually get treated as a world title, like how Fightful and everybody's reporting that it might end up getting treated like that, then yes, there's that possibility. But I think for right now, I'm going to say it's still a mid-card belt. I'm going to say I don't think so. I do not think that Adam Cole is getting a world title. Mid-card, yes, he could get that unified belt. I think he could easily get that unified belt from somebody, whether it be if Kenny Omega wins or Kazuchika Okada wins, if Will Ospreay ends up getting it off of them, if a Swerve gets it, if whoever gets that belt. I think Adam Cole could eventually be in line to possibly get that belt, and I could easily see him getting that within like the next year or so. Again, he's only 35 years old. He's really not even reached his prime, if you're going to be honest, but like, so, I mean, I could see a world where he at least gets one. I think at least one at the very bare minimum. Maybe he gets more than one, but most likely just one. Now, this next name, it's Swerve Strickland. Okay, I know, you're thinking, Swerve Strickland? Really? Come on, dude. This guy's easily going to get a world championship. Here's the thing, and hear me out for a second. Swerve Strickland is such an odd commodity because it's like, yes, in everybody's eyes, Swerve Strickland is a world champion, face of AEW, one of its pillars, one of its biggest stars. He should get a world title. He should get another one, right? He's 35 years old. He's going to be 36 soon. Or no, he's 34 right now. He's going to be 35 soon. So he's not that old either. He's around the Adam Cole age. But there's also a lot of guys that are going to need a world title. And I think Swerve can possibly hold out for another year or so. And it's like, well, in another year or so, how's his body looking? Because we know that Swerve loves to do these dangerous-ass matches. He loves to have staples all over his body. He loves to just do crazy stuff. So it's like, how is his body holding up at 36? how's it holding up at 37? If it's till 38, how's it holding up until he's 38? How does the rest of the world title scene look? Because I think Will Ospreay's got to get one real soon. Hangman's gonna get it again, likely at All In. I think then Moxley might. I think then MJF might get it because he's likely gonna need it. Then Will Ospreay, like I said, he's gonna get it. There's still, the conversation of Jay White needing one. There's a few other people that I think could end up getting in that position, like Kenny Omega might get another one. What happens with Kazuchika Okada? Does he end up getting one? Konosuke Takeshita's there. Kyle Fletcher's there. Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita are like younger than Swerve, so there is always the possibility that they could wait a little longer. But it's like for Swerve, the world title scene is definitely not closed by any means. I think that's much so open. Another thing that makes me a bit worried for Swerve in the world title scene is, at what point in time do you as AEW, as a company, when do you start pushing some of your top guys into the mid-card scene because you want to really solidify their careers as not only AEW world champions, but as, AEW champions in general, whether that be the world title scene, the mid-card scene, the tag team scene, like whatever. And so I think for someone like Swerve, he might end up being one of those guys that gets the unified belt to make it much bigger, like how he did with AEW in 2024. Maybe, the Tony Khan views it as like, I got to put this on a guy like Swerve because he can be a superstar. Maybe even Tony Khan says, hey, yo, Swerve, TV title, man, my TV champion. Like, would you want to be a guy that kind of like just takes over Collision? And I could see that being a great thing for Swerve Strickland, being the guy that's like, the face of Collision. I think that would be really good for not only him, but also that title as well. It's going to make that scene really, really awesome. And it's going to make Collisions a lot more watchable. I could see a world where that happens as well. So it's like, I think there's a very real possibility that okay, I'm gonna be real. I think Swerve's mid-card is actually a lot more open than his world title picture is. Because, I think, the door is pretty much all the way open. But it's like, I think it's like, if you're on YouTube, you can kind of see this. Here's the door right here. I think his door is basically like this. It's basically like this, okay? It's pretty much all the way open. I think the mid-card scene is like this. I think the door done literally got folded to the other side and just got taken out, and now it's literally just the door. Wait, why did I say this was the door? I meant to say this was the walkway. This is the, what is the part called where the door actually stands at? Would you call it like a walkway? Whatever the hell you want to call that. Wherever the hell the door is in place of, like that area right there. That's the doorway. The doorway. There we go. Freaking stupid. Like the doorway, like the doors and got just thrown off the damn hinges. I think Swerve's mid-card scene is just absolutely open as hell. But again, if that does become if the unified title is like a world title, then I think Swerve could easily get another world title. I think both of them are just off the hinges. But I think if it's a mid-card title, I think now we look at the world title scene a little differently, especially because you have a guy like Will Ospreay who's established in the mid-card scene. You have a guy like Kenny Omega who is barely getting established in the mid-card scene. You have a guy like Jon Moxley who we don't really think about as a mid-card champion. We have a guy like Hangman Adam Page. I don't even think he's gotten a mid-card champion. MJF, he's only gotten the one. We don't really think of him as a mid-card guy either. And so it's like, I think for a lot of these guys, it's going to be very, very interesting in what Tony Khan wants to do with them going forward. And if they're only going to be in the world title scene, or if they're going to be in that mid-card scene as well, elevating some of those other titles. Because at some point in time, like, if Kyle Fletcher can't elevate that TNT title, you got to put it on somebody that actually can elevate it. Because I'm pretty sure TNT is going to be looking at it like, yo, you're kind of screwing over our title here. And I think Tony Khan's going to also want to have that title elevated as well, so that he can elevate stars with that title too. Like, if that goes on to a Swerve, the person who dethroned Swerve, they're going to be much bigger. So I think that's going to really, really help that TNT scene out, and help that TNT title out, and just help out the rest of your roster. So I could see the mid-card scene being a lot more open than the world title scene. Now, the next name I have is J. Sean Taylor White. It's not even this guy's full name. Not even this guy's name at all. Damn near know. I for sure know it ain't no damn J. Sean Taylor White. Nah. That name is just like his last name. But for Jay White, this is a weird one, man, because I think he's in that Finn Balor world where it's just like, damn, man, you're so fucking injury prone. But I also think with Jay White, he's not Finn Balor just yet, where it's like, I think the world title scene is just closed. No, I think Finn Balor's world title scene is closed, like damn near shut, because of the fact that he's just been so injury prone in his age. Jay White's a little younger than Finn Balor. He's also isn't as injury prone. It's not like, it's like his injury. Well, no, I take that back. He's injury prone as hell too. Again, I'm not even gonna cap on that. That man is super damn injury prone. I think his world title scene is like a little more open than Raquel's. I think it's like, if the door for, let's say, Raquel is like this, like, you know, something like this, where it's like it's barely open, I think Jay White's is like this. I think it's like just a little more open. So like an acute triangle, for those of y'all that are on, you know, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I think it's more like an acute triangle where it's like, you know, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. I don't think the possibility is that high. It's like a 35% chance. And I think for his mid-card scene, I think that one's a lot more open. But I think that one's like, but like when I say a lot more open, I don't mean like, you know, crazy open by any means. I think his mid-card scene is like a 90-degree angle. I think it's open. It just ain't all the way open. This man got to prove that he can stay healthy now. He's in that Adam Cole area where he has to prove that he can be healthy for an entire year if he wants to get a title. And because, like, you can't just throw a title on this guy. He gets injured, and now you got to vacate the damn title, drop all your damn storylines, and it's just like, well, here we go again. Like, come on, we can't keep doing this with Jay White. We keep trying with him, and it's not working. My hair started really bugging me. But, yeah, no, I think for Jay White, it's just like, it's not, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think his future is odd. Like, I think a TNT title, yes, but I look at that as like more like an undercard title and less of like a mid-card title, but it probably will get treated more as a mid-card title with the fact that the Continental and the International are getting combined. So it's like, I guess we can look at it as like a mid-card title. And I think he could possibly get those. So I think like for like a TNT title, it's a more like obtuse, you know, more obtuse angle. I think he has a very wide open door. For the unified title, child, that's what things get shaky. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. But for the next person, we have Miss Hikaru Shida. Hikaru's is weird because she's 37 years old. She has a lot of visa issues right now, so I don't know when she's going to actually get back to AEW. The world title scene, I think, is pretty much more or less closed. I think that one is like Raquel's, where it's like I can see her get another one, but probably not. I think for the TBS title, though, she was in the TBS title picture last year against Mercedes Moné. I think there's a world where she can get another TBS title. I think she could probably get like at least like 2 to 3 TBS titles over the next like 3-4 years. Because I think she's like with her style being very much so, you know, like kind of like Asuka's in a sense. I think that she is pretty much going to be fine to wrestle until she's like 44, 45 years old and still wrestle at a pretty high enough level. So I think by the time she's like 41, 42, she can still get at least maybe one more TBS title. Like if she's already got like 2 within like, you know, like the next 3 years, I think by the time 41, 42, definitely could touch that mid-card title. I just think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward with Hikaru Shida, because obviously she's in that kind of realm of like Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Nyla Rose, Riho, which sucks for Riho because Riho's only like 28 years old, but like for all these women, it's just like you're the older ones, you know, your style hasn't fully, I mean, well, for Hikaru, I think she's pretty much more or less fine. For a lot of the other women, it's not really the case, but Hikaru is also well, no, not Jamie either, but like for Hikaru, I think she's slowing down more than Jamie, and it's like, are you going to be able to keep up? Are you going to be able to have great matches? That's going to be the big thing, I think, going forward for Hikaru Shida, which she had a pretty good match against Mercedes Moné, so I think she should be fine. But the next person, speaking of Thunder Rosa, is Thunder Rosa, and I think Thunder Rosa is going to be a fun one because world title scene, I think, is pretty much closed off. I would have loved to see her in another world title picture. I think she's absolutely freaking awesome. Unless you want to count like the Ring of Honor Women's World title, then you can. And I think she could easily get that. But I think for like the AEW world title scene, probably not. The mid-card title scene is where things are going to get very interesting because, like I said, I think she's slowing down. I think she's slowing down a lot. I also think, though, that it's not it's not a slowdown to where it's like, damn, you just can't even book her anymore like with Britt Baker. Again, no offense to Britt Baker, but you saw that you don't definitely slow the hell down. So it's like, I think for Thunder Rosa, it's more so on the line of like I would say she's probably somewhere around, probably like a Serena Deeb. I think she's around that area where it's like, I think she could still pretty much go. I think it's just not going to be like anything that's like elite by any means. So it's like the world title scene closed off. TBS title scene, I'm probably going to say closed off for now. There's a world, though, where I think she could get at least maybe one, but it's a very, like, I'm going to be real with you. I don't think it's like a real chance. I'm just like saying that there is a possible world. I didn't even realize how red my eyes looked. I am not under the influence at all. I am tired and powering through this damn episode. I am going off of not much sleep, and after this episode, after this recording, I will be going to sleep and editing this later on. But I'm not trying to rush through it by any means, though. We still have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more topics to talk about. So yeah, I'm gonna be here for the long haul. But the next person, though, that I hope is around for the long haul, Kris Statlander. Miss Kris Statlander, my God, that's a hell of a woman. Something, man. Oh, man, I hate to be sounding like so rude. I think that world title scene is closed the fuck off. I think it is, man. I really love Kris Statlander. I think she's an awesome wrestler. She is one of my favorite wrestlers on the roster. I think she's top 3 in that women's division when it comes to in-ring wrestling. I just think you're 30 years old. Your mic and character work have not improved over the past 2 years, 3 years now. It's just been the same thing, and it's like everybody else that's around your time period, I feel like is much more ahead of you than you are. Like, I think Willow Nightingale is ahead of her. I think Julia Hart is ahead of her. I guess if you want to call Jamie Hayter her time period, Jamie Hayter is ahead of her. Hell, I could even make a case that Jade Cargill is ahead of Kris Statlander right now. Like, I think her character work looks a lot better. Her charisma looks a lot better. So it's like the ring work, I think it's subjective because I think WWE has one style, AEW has another style. So it's like it's very, very much so subjective. But I think a lot of her contemporaries are ahead of her. So it's like I hope the best for Kris Statlander. I really hope that she can get a world title. I think it's very much so. I'm going to take back what I said. I don't think it's like close the hell off. I think it's like probably just a tad bit more open than Austin Theories. I think a tad bit open. The thing that sucks, no, actually, you know what? No, I think it's, man, it's gonna be weird. I think it's like a tad bit closed off. Yeah, I'm gonna stay there because it's like she is only like 29, 30 years old. So it's like there's a world that she does improve over the next 2 years and just really forces AEW to push her. There's a world where AEW doesn't really do what, other companies do with the whole women can only be holding titles at certain ages and all that stuff, and they really only hold them when they're young and all that. So maybe AEW does that. I don't really know. But I think that there is a possibility she can get a world title. TBS title, I think that's wide the hell open. I think she could get at least 2 to 3 to probably even 4 to 5 more. She might even be like the face of the TBS division, even though Mercedes Moné will have probably like the longest run. Or, well, no, she might not have the longest run. Jade Cargill still will. But like, even though like, Mercedes will have like one of the longer runs and one of the best, and probably like up to this date, the best run, I think Kris Statlander, we could have like real arguments of like, what's better, the really long run or the multiple titles? What's better, Gunther's world title, his one IC reign, or Miz's multiple IC reigns, Cody's multiple IC reigns, Chris Jericho's and Christian's multiple IC reigns? So it's like, I think we could end up having those conversations in the future, and I would love to see her hold multiple TBS belts. And if another mid-card ever does get opened up, and this one gets kind of like the TBS gets turned to like a real TV title, undercard title, I could see a world where Kris Statlander gets that one as well. I would love to hear from all y'all, though, down below, in the comment sections and all that stuff, just about how y'all feel about each of these. I'll have like a little copy paste. I'll have like pasted in the comment section so y'all could easily just grab a hold of that and just fill it out yourselves. But let's go ahead and jump on into the next conversation, which is about Gunther, the Ring General Gunther, and Mr. Goldberg, because I'm gonna be real with you, man. This match feels like a safety hazard. Like, like how they like the little plastic toys that like, or like the little toys that you get from the store and all that stuff say like, safety hazard, don't allow us around like 1 or 2 year olds because they might have swallowing it. This feels like we should not be allowing Gunther to be in this match, because I want to read y'all this article. It's from Goldberg with Fightful. I'm gonna kind of like just I'm just gonna read through it. So he says, despite the toughness, there have been positive moments. I've been in the ring a couple of times. I'm going to get in the ring today, and it's just tough. Me doing that right there, that was the first day that I felt good, that I felt really good. It goes on to say, he is determined to impress in his farewell. Man, I'm never going to be the way that I used to be by any stretch of imagination, but damn it, for a 58-year-old guy, I'm going to be in some seriously awesome shape, and I'm going to freak some people out, I believe, Goldberg stated. His goal is to deliver a performance true to his legacy. I'm not just showing up to show up. I need to show up and be me. I've tapped into a little bit more as of late. Goldberg emphasized the struggle to balance his warrior mentality and his body's current limitations, especially during Muay Thai training. It's really tough to have the mentality I do, but to have the body that I do now, with the mileage on it, there's a huge balance. Okay, so as we can already see, Goldberg pretty much more or less realizes that he's not the same guy that he once was. I'm hoping that this means that his ego has, somewhat closed the hell off, but I don't know, some of his other interviews about other things, it's like his ego is just glaring. But like, if this man's ego has shut the hell off, then it's a good thing, because that means that this will be like a 1 to 2 minute match, possibly like a 3-minute match, which is great, because Gunther does not need to be in a long match. Well, in a long match with Goldberg, because the longer he's in there with Goldberg, the more likely that something dangerous can happen, because Goldberg damn near killed Bret Hart, damn near killed Undertaker just a few years ago, and 2019, 2018, something like that, when he was only like 51, 52 years old. He's now 58. He's had multiple injuries, as he's discussed, over these past few months. So it's just like, he cannot do certain moves. The biggest one being the fucking jackhammer. The man cannot do the jackhammer against Gunther. It's just not going to be a good thing. He can barely lift Undertaker, and I would like to believe that Gunther is probably a little less than Undertaker is. I think right now, this Gunther is probably weighs a little less than that Undertaker did. I think he's also a lot shorter as well. So it's like there is that, in that maybe he's just a little easier to lift. But you got to remember that Goldberg is also 6 years older and not as big as he once used to be. And he also struggled getting in and out of the ring while also getting up onto the dang ropes as well. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think he's in the best condition, man. Like, I see Dustin Rhodes looking like he in better condition than Goldberg, and he's had just as many injuries. So it's like, Goldberg, with all the injuries he's had, with the amount of unsafetyness he is as a wrestler, I just don't think that this will happen for Gunther. I don't think that we should put Gunther at risk. I don't think that Gunther is somebody who's one of our, presence. I don't think that we should just kind of screw over. Yes, there are other guys there, but like, I don't think that we should just kind of, screw over Gunther. We've already screwed this man over as is. He had a Pat McAfee match where he had to actually have a long match with him. Mind you, he had a long match with Pat McAfee. Is the same thing going to happen with Goldberg, where we get like a 5-10 minute match? A lot of people are really upset now that it is Goldberg, because it's going to be a short match. Does WWE hear the noise and say, damn, let's have a bit longer match? Let's go like 9, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. If that's the case, we don't need that. We don't need that. I'm so glad that I'm not going to be watching Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm going to be watching All In, but I'm also going to have my phone on Do Not Disturb, because I don't want to get any kind of messages that something happened to Gunther, because it's just like, there's a possibility that something could actually happen, because the fact that Goldberg is just an unsafe wrestler. Like, the way all y'all are, throwing pissy fits about Kairi Sane apparently being dangerous and all that stuff, even though clearly she's not dangerous of a wrestler. Y'all should be having these same fits about Goldberg. Y'all should be having these same exact fits about Goldberg, man. Y'all should be upset with the fact that Gunther even has to have this match. I don't like this. I really wish that we would have just got, Gunther versus Jey Uso at Saturday Night's Main Event. Mind you, this is Saturday Night's Main Event. That's in 3 weeks. We're not even getting at Night of Champions. So it's like, why didn't we just get Gunther versus Jey Uso at Saturday Night's Main Event? We could have had Gunther in the tournament for the King of the Ring tournament. He could have lost the tournament, goes on to face Jey Uso because he gets pissed and all that stuff, and goes after Jey Uso, yada yada, whatever. That would have been really damn good. I don't think we need to see Gunther versus Goldberg. I don't need to see this match happen. The man can barely even get into the ring. He says that, that June 5th, by the way, this is June 5th, that June 5th, that time getting into the ring was the first time that he actually felt good in the ring. The man said that he still has body pains every single damn day, and that he feels really awful a lot of days. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, if that was like the first time he felt good in the ring, what's the possibility that like on July 12th that he doesn't feel good that day. Is he going to be able to go? Is WWE going to call the match? I think if he's not ready to go, I think WWE should call the match. I think if the doctors don't clear him, I think WWE should call the match. This should not be on a Goldberg. This should be on the WWE doctors. And if they say that it is okay, if they say it's okay, then I guess I got to just, be cool with it. But I'm super pissed that it's actually happening. I think that this is disgusting to do to Gunther. I think you kind of already screwed the man over as is. We don't need to screw this man over anymore. Speaking of people who are getting screwed over, though, let's talk about Miss Io Sky. So Io Sky has basically been benched now for a couple of weeks. The last match she had a singles match was May 5th, and the last time she had a match in general was May 12th. Since WrestleMania, she's only had 2 singles matches, one of those ending in interference. She's had no significant feuds. She's had basically very little screen time, and every other champion since WrestleMania, besides Tiffany Stratton, has been on a PLE or a special. Besides the New Day, they're the only ones who have it, and besides the SmackDown tag, like the SmackDown division, they have not been. The tag team division, they have not been on PLEs. Everybody else has, besides Tiffany Stratton. And it's just like, mind you, Tiffany Stratton is not only in feud, she's also had multiple matches since WrestleMania as well. So it's just like, what is WWE doing with Io Sky? Because I guess I want to kind of get into the Evolution conversation as well, kind of just put both of these together. Evolution is in like 3 weeks. Io Sky still has no opponent for Evolution. I think it was supposed to be Liv, but now with the Liv injury, not able to do that. But it's like, she was supposed to have, something going into Evolution, or at least should have had something coming out of WrestleMania. Now, you had the match against Stephanie Valkyrie. Cool. You ended up dropping the whole feud with Roxanne and Julia. I don't know why. I think Julia would have been a great big feud for Io Sky. You could have had Julia versus Io at Backlash or at Saturday Night's Main Event before Julia goes on over to SmackDown. I think that would have been really damn good as well. So it's just like, because it's weird with Julia, because it's like you went after Io. Stephanie, I guess, and Io, but then you eventually were going after Io as well. But then you go over to SmackDown and you're not going for the world title picture. You're instead going for Zelina Vega. I think had she lost to Io, that would make sense as to why she wouldn't go after Tiffany, because Tiffany and Io are both the world champions. So it's just like, I don't really understand that too much. It feels like, I don't know if it's a thing of with WWE, they're just like, oh, well, we want you to get over, but we didn't want you to get this over. But it's like, well, are you punishing her? Are you punishing the woman for getting over, even though you were literally pushing the woman to the moon, gave her these freaking cool merch shirts and all that, or gave her these cool shirts and all that stuff? It's like, I don't really know. And now I'm kind of worried about Io Sky going into Evolution, because it's like the report is only going to be 5 matches. There's only going to be 5 matches. One of them is the NXT Women's Championship. One of them is going to be Becky versus Lyra versus Bayley. I think that's almost a guarantee. I assume Julia versus Zelina, probably even somebody else is going to be there as well. Tiffany's probably going to be there too. Maybe like a women's battle royale match to determine a number 1 contender for one of the titles. So it's like, oh, and my bad, I forgot that Nikki and Rhea are likely going to be there, going up against Roxanne and Raquel, or some variation of whatever these tag teams will be. So it's like, how the hell does Io actually get on this card? How does she actually get on this card if she has no feuds going into the card, if she has no big matches going into the, if she has nothing just lined up for the card? How does she get on the Evolution? You're already going to have Liv miss Evolution. There's a very real possibility that Bianca misses Evolution as well. How the hell are you going to have Io missing Evolution and try to sell us this card? Mind you, there's going to be some decent matches there, or there's going to be some good matches there, but it's just like, how are you going to sell us this card, though, if 3 of your biggest stars are missing, and one of them is missing just because you simply could not get her any kind of feud? Now, maybe the reports aren't true, but, they're reports nonetheless, but maybe they aren't true. Maybe they will have 7 matches. I think that they should have 7 matches, because that's kind of like the whole point of Evolution, is to show the progression of the women's division. You had the first Evolution was showing that, they got not only women's titles, women main eventing, all that stuff. Should have been Becky and Charlotte, but whatever. But like you have, your NXT Women's Championship there as well. And now, you have all these other matches. You have all the other belts. You have the Evolve Women's Championship. You have the North American Women's Championship. You have the NXT Women's Championship. You have the Mid-Card Women's Championship to the US and the IC. And you have your Women's World and Women's and WWE Women's Championship, while also having your Women's Tag Team belts as well. That is 8 total belts. The Evolve Championship probably won't be defended. I could see a world where it maybe could be, but for the most part, it might be like in that Battle Royale if you do 7. Actually, you have to do 8 then. So it's like, are they going to do 8 matches? Maybe not. Who the heck knows? Maybe Sorica doesn't make it. Who the hell knows what's going to actually happen? So it's like, either it's 5 matches and EO might end up getting screwed, or it's 7 matches and EO's going to go in there with possibly no kind of build up and has a real chance of losing her world title, especially if Asuka does not win Queen of the Ring. Like, I think a lot of what happens with EO going forward is going to predicate on whether or not Asuka does win. I think if Asuka wins, we might get heel Kyrie, and then heel Kyrie faces EO at Evolution, and then heel Asuka faces EO at SummerSlam. That's the possibility. Who the hell knows if that happens? I would love to see that happen. I don't really know if it does happen, though. I think there's a very real possibility where Jade does win the whole entire tournament. I think that's probably the more likely. There's also the possibility, though, that Asuka could lose that, still go heel, and then she wins like the Battle Royale to go face Io Sky at SummerSlam. I don't know why I forgot the damn name of it. There is that possibility. But speaking of Evolution, though, it's just, man, this better not be a 5-match pay-per-view. I'm going to be real with you, man, because this last PLE, y'all, this was a really damn good one. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Even the 7th worst match, which I'll just tell you right now, no, I won't say it yet. It was not that bad of a match, at least for the beginning of it. Towards the end of it, it got really weird, but the beginning of it was pretty damn good. But let's go ahead and rank every single match from the first Women's Evolution. This card right here, man, let me just say before we even get into it, like I said, the first 6 matches of the 7 are absolutely elite. I think that they're all, even including the Battle Royale separate, because it's really hard to like rate a Battle Royale. I think these are all like 4-star and up matches, in my opinion. I think that none of these matches were a miss. I think even this last match, which I do have here, being Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey, this is a 3-star match. It was not that bad. I think had the match been in like the middle of the card, it would have been a lot better. It's just the fact that it wasn't in the middle of the card, so you had it following Becky versus Charlotte for no reason at all. It was like a little 5-star match. I don't know why you would have it following that. That made 0 sense. It's like, had that opened the show or had that been like in the middle of the show, it probably would have been much better, but because it was at the end of the show, I think that's what kind of hurts that match. But I'm going to be real with you. It's not the worst match in the world. I think Nikki Bella looks somewhat decent in the match. I think Ronda Rousey looked a lot better than I remember her actually looking in this match. I think there's a few times where the match looks really, really awful, like that horrible baseball slide from Nikki Bella and that weird like roll up into the arm bar, like from the top rope, but they both fall. It's just really, really odd. I'm gonna be real with you, man. If you watch that match back, it is a thing of confusion towards the end. But it's like, it wasn't a horrible match by any means. Like, I wasn't like, crying because I had to rewatch it. I rewatched it and I was like, oh, it's pretty decent. It's not the worst match in the world. But for number 6, I have the Women's Battle Royale. Oh man. There was some hooping. Y'all, there was some hooping in this match, y'all. There was some entertainment in this match, too. Carmella dancing. We had Ember Moon just hooping like crazy. You had, what's her name? You had Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville hooping. You had Mandy hit a beautiful V-trigger on somebody. I forgot who that was, but she hit a beautiful V-trigger, man. We had Nia Jax hooping. We had Asuka hooping. We had Asuka and Ember Moon doing the strong style to each other. They was hooping like crazy. My goodness, man, that was a thing of beauty to see. But like, they was hooping. You had Tamina looking really good in this match as well. Naomi was doing her thing. Like, there was a lot of greatness in this Women's Battle Royale. Like, it's hard to obviously judge a Battle Royale like any higher than other matches because like it's a Battle Royale. You're not really doing much wrestling in the match until you get to the end. But it's like what I seen of it, it was really, really damn good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like seeing some of the legends there. I don't need to see too many legends this time, though, man. I'm gonna be real with you, man. If we're doing this again, I don't need to see half the match being legends and all that stuff. All right, man. Don't go doing that now. We don't need that again, all right? But for the next match, though, I guess speaking of legends, we had Alicia Fox and Mickie James with Alexa Bliss at their side versus Lita and Trish Stratus. And this match, I forgot how good this match was, man. Lita and Trish was moving. They was really hoping. Like, mind you, everybody was hooping in this match. But, like, I was surprised to see Lita and Trish Stratus, who were up there in age, moving. I was like, whoa. I forgot they looked that damn good. And Alicia Fox and Mickie James looked as amazing. Alexa Bliss taunting on the sidelines and all that stuff, really just revving this match up, made it for an absolutely amazing opening. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Like I said, I was loving every single second of it. Alicia Fox told me that she's still an amazing seller. Mickey and Lita was going at it. Mickey and Trish was going at it as well. Lita hitting that swanton was a thing of beauty, man. Shout out to my dog, man. Trish giving the Stratisfaction to I think that was Mickie James. She gave it to. Like, it just, the entire match was just, man, I forgot how good that match is. Like, if you ever get a chance to go watch that match back, go watch that match back, because it is a thoroughly enjoyable match. Next match I have up is Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's Championship, man. And once again, just hoping. Kairi Sane, like, this was one of the few matches where I have actually seen both women look like the damn MVP. Like, they got co-MVP. They both just looked really damn good. I didn't even mind the interference that happened later with the rest of the UFC 4 horsewomen. I forgot all their names. I'm gonna be real with you. Besides Marina Shafir, she was the only one. And Ronda Rousey wasn't obviously interfering at all because she wasn't at the sideline. I guess ringside. But, like, Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, man, they were doing their thing. Kairi Sane looked amazing in the match. Shayna Baszler, she made me sad a little bit, man, because I was just like, damn, I forgot how good you really was. And WWE just said, nah, we not doing it. Sorry, Shayna, that's not going to work for me, brother. Like, damn, that sucks. Because she is so damn good. Oh, she's so damn good, man. The fact that, like, just WWE, Vince McMahon said, yeah, nah, sorry, Shayna, you're not gonna work for us, man. Like, I hope wherever Shayna does go, she gets respected, man, because she's a hooper. She's a hooper, bro. The way that, like, she was just working Kairi's body the entire time, working the arm. She was holding Kairi up from, like, the top rope, just had her dangling and all that stuff. Kairi Sane was going crazy in the match with the insane elbow and just the her, like, little walking the plank that she be doing and all that stuff. It just, oh man, this is an amazing match. It's like, it's not better than the next 3 matches, but, like, I could definitely hear somebody out for, like, at least, like, 2 of these matches, but it's not better than, like, Becky versus Charlotte. But, like, the Toni Storm, Io Sky, formerly known as Io Shirai match, the Sasha Bayley, Natalya versus the Riot Squad match, I could definitely hear somebody else saying the NXT Championship match is better than either one of those two. I just personally think that I think that it's not. But, like, the next match though I have at number 3 is one of my is my goats, Sasha and Bayley and Natalya versus the Riot Squad. Mercedes, you ain't got no type of hops to save your damn life. Shorty tried to do a suicide, not even a suicide. I forgot what the hell she tried. No, she tried doing she tried going over the rope, and it just ain't work at all, man. She tried doing a frog splash. I think it was a thing of ugliness. I love when she does the Three Amigos with that frog splash. Go ahead and just kick that thing in the tug, lady. Okay, man. Don't be doing that damn move anymore, man. My goodness, swinging your feet and all that stuff. That thing look ugly. But other than that, though, man, it was just so many amazing moments in this match. After Sasha did kind of tumble out the ring, there was a moment where Bayley was, like, laying on top of her, protecting her from a senton that Ruby Riott did. And you had Liv Morgan balling, hit some crazy, like, sideways code breaker. She had, like, this double stomp onto I think that was Natalya. It's onto Natalya's back. Sarah Logan was balling out. Ruby Riott was balling out. Like, this was a really damn good match. I forgot why this match actually happened, but damn, was this match really good, man. Like, Sasha and Bayley and Natalya hit, like, a double sharpshooter on the Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott. That's when she got hit with the code breaker afterwards, but, like, she hit that double one on them. It looked amazing. That whole little sequence right there, it looked, that's a thing of beauty. At number 2, though, obviously, man, I hate to do this because I really, really love this match. This might be one of my favorite matches now from like women's wrestling. Toni Storm, Io Sky. Oh my God, man, these women were balling out. Mae Young classic. Toni Storm, Io hit, like, this crazy ass. What was it? She hit, like, this springboard drop kick to Toni Storm, who was on the top rope. Then she hit, then she like got down, ran from one side of the ring to the other, and then hit a springboard, not springboard, she hit a top rope moonsault, the over the sky moonsault, to Toni Storm, who was on the outside of the ring. That seen Toni hit a suplex to her on the side ring apron. Like, oh my God, man, the Storm Zero that she done got off, the over the moonsault into the double knees into the Storm Zero. Like, oh my gosh, man, and her Storm Zero looked crazy in WWE. I forgot that she didn't really do the Tiger Driver 91 or 98. She just did it more so in like a way where like she would kind of like fold your arms under, and then she would like kind of like flip you over almost like a power bomb. She doesn't do like the way she does it now in AEW, because I don't think they do like, I think at that time they didn't do like, they didn't allow for those, for like the power drivers and all that stuff. But it's like, man, damn, that might be one of the best women's, just like regular no stipulation matches. That might be one of the best just women's matches of all time, in my opinion. But shit, man, probably the greatest match of all time. Oh my goodness, man. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. What a damn match. Oh my God. That last woman standing match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which Becky Lynch did end up retaining. That thing was a thing of beauty. That was a thing of beauty, man. You could feel the hatred between both of these women. You could just feel every single moment of it when they're both just throwing the chairs into the ring, when Charlotte's on the announce table and Becky Lynch goes to the top of the ladder and hits her with a leg drop, which, by the way, is 2018. We're still doing leg drops, man. Y'all got to stop doing this. But you had that happen. You had the figure eight through the ladder. That shit looked nasty as hell. You had Becky tapping out and all that, but obviously the last one. I said last man standing. My bad. I'm gonna say last woman standing. That's completely on me. But you had her hit that move. You had Charlotte getting buried underneath all the rubble, and then she woke up like the damn. She woke up like Undertaker and just got right on up and said, "All right, let me go ahead and just get right back to whooping some ass." Like, oh man, bro, this match, man, this match was a thing of freaking beauty. This, in my opinion, it's the best last woman's or last person standing match in general. I genuinely, and I mean genuinely, believe that this was the best last person standing match of all time. I thought that this one was just awesome. It should have been the main event. This was just a spectacular match from start to finish. Love the hell out of it. I'm gonna be real with y'all. We could get this again this year if Triple H decides to get in his bag, like how he did with Cody and AJ. That little random Cody AJ match to start Cody Rhodes' run off. It was like literally the best match of 2024. Get in your bag, Triple H, and we can get this again. We can start having real conversations about if 2018 or 2025 is the better evolution. I'm all here for them conversations, man. But before we do get into the, I guess I was going to transition over to Mercedes, but that's the conversation that needs to be had at last, because you got to save the best for last, man. Got to save my GOAT, man. We got to talk about Mr. Kazuchika Okada and Kenneth Jerome Omega, because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a bit worried about this match. I'm not going to stay on this topic too long, because it's like, I don't feel like waking that side of the fandom up, because y'all can't, y'all Kazuchika Okada fans, man, y'all is reckless. Y'all really is. I'm like, this man is looking more and more washed. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it's like, maybe not even washed, but like he's doing it way too much now, where it's just like, it looks like he's just like phoning in matches, and it's like, okay, I'm not going to try in this match at all. I'm just going to give you half-assed effort. Like the match with Buddy Matthews, Brody King, with Mark Briscoe. These matches just all looked bad. The one with Speedball Mike Bailey looked really, really good, but the other ones, they just looked really, really bad. They did not look good by any means. It looks like he's just, has no kind of joy to actually wrestle. I look at, man, I get it. If you're not into just wrestling any and everybody, you only want to have elite matches against the elite of the elite because you don't feel like, carrying somebody in a match, that's fine. Like, or I guess, whatever it may be, like, that's fine. But it's like, dude, I'm gonna be real, man. I hope that when we do get this match at All In, that this match is everything that it should be. I'm gonna have my expectations really low for this match, though. I don't think the expectations should be high by any means, because Kazuchika Okada has literally just been phoning in most of his matches in AEW. And I really, really hate it, because it's just like, I feel like he could have a much better run. I get that he's just having fun and all, but like he could have a much better run. And he's just not doing that. That's just not happening at all. We're getting this very much so mediocre run, and I hate it, because it's just like, I hate it for Tony Khan that he had to get someone like Kazuchika Okada, who's just going to come here and have a mediocre run, but I'm pretty sure he just literally got him for the Kenneth Jerome Omega match. And it's like, if this match main events, and I see Kazuchika Okada go out there and show his ass, don't do a damn thing in this match, and Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné is elites. Hangman versus Moxley is elite, especially though Tony versus Mercedes. That is an elite 5-star match. Oh, baby. The hate that I'm giving to Kazuchika Okada, it's going to be generational type hate. It's going to be generational type hate. I think that this man, I don't like what he's doing. Me personally, I don't like someone just phoning in matches. I feel like it's very much so weak. I feel like it's just the easy way out. You're only like 37, 38 years old. You should not have to be phoning in matches right now. I can see if you're like 44, 45, fine, but like 37, 38, dude, you still have like at least 6, 7 more years to keep wrestling. So it's like, bro, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? I really don't like it at all. And I hate that, like, people won't call this out, but they'll call out, like, Mercedes or something like that for having all these belts. But it's like, at least she's wrestling, putting on great matches every single time. This guy Kazuchika is just going out there and just having ass matches. Like, again, the Mark Briscoe one sucked. The Buddy Matthews one sucked. The Brody King one sucked. Because of Kazuchika Okada, not because of anybody else, but because of him. And see, now I'm getting a little bit frustrated because it's Kazuchika Okada once again proving me right. Once again proving me right. That when I said the man's overrated and I said he ain't top 20 all time in New Japan, counting Stardom as well, he is not top 20. And folks that try to fight me on that stuff, I'm not even going to pay attention to you, man. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not even going to pay attention to you because yo boy phones in matches, and I think it's the corniest thing in the world. I think that it is such a loser type mentality to have, to not try in matches. I don't care if he's a New Japan legend and all this stuff. Try in your matches. Try to have great matches. I don't care if it's not, I don't want to wrestle Buddy Matthews or Brody King or Mark Briscoe or whoever the hell I have to wrestle. Like, no, wrestle these guys. Have great matches against these guys. Stop looking like a whole pack of ass out there. Stop looking trash. Make these matches look good. People want to get their money's worth. They want to see Kazuchika Okada have a great match. So go out there and have a great match. I think it's just that simple. Again, all the hate that y'all give Mercedes, you really should be giving it to Kazuchika Okada, but you're not going to give it to him because you love the little rainmaker. That's all it is. But speaking of Mercedes Moné, we got to have this talk, man, because I feel like a lot of y'all that are haters, no, not even a lot of y'all, all y'all that hate Mercedes Moné and all this creative control bullshit and all this stuff, y'all are just stupid. I'm going to be real with y'all. Like, y'all are just stupid. Let me start off with the biggest reason why y'all are stupid. She's a black woman. Y'all think a black woman going to have that kind of power in this world? You think a black woman's going to have this kind of power in CMLL, Mexico, in Europe, in Japan, in America? You think a black woman's gonna have this kind of power? No. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And if every company is telling you that she does not have creative control, you should probably believe it, man. Because why would these companies give a black woman creative control? Why would they give her that? It doesn't even make any sense. So that's already stupid. That is. But here's the dumber part. Folks say she has creative control, right? Okay. Mercedes Moné is only signed to AEW. She's not signed to New Japan anymore, and she's not signed to CMLL. She's not signed to Rev Pro. She's not signed to European Wrestling Association. She's not signed to any other damn company other than AEW. That's already basically been confirmed. So why would she have creative control in other companies that she's literally not a part of? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all in the slightest. And if she had creative control, why is Camille taken away from her? Because that's already been confirmed that Tony Khan removed Camille from Mercedes Moné. Now, the reason for it is not the clearest, because there is two different reasons. One of them is that they just felt that, she wasn't ready to be in the position that she was in, and the other one is that she's going to be on a TV show and all that stuff. So it's not really sure what that it is. But Mercedes wanted Camille by her side. Mercedes wanted to have a feud with Camille. Mercedes wanted to have matches with Camille. So it's like, I think if Mercedes wanted these things and they didn't happen, that kind of lets you know that they don't have creative control. Also, it's already been confirmed too that after the whole Cody Rhodes debacle, that Kenneth Jerome Omega's creative control and the Young Bucks creative control was also taken away because they were not booking themselves to be as strong as they should have been. So it's like, I think we can kind of just shut the whole creative control thing up. Now, there's a few other things I got listed here. One of them being as far as these indie belts. She had the EWA Women's Championship. She has the Rev Pro Undisputed Women's Championship. Rev Pro has 6 people on its roster. Alex Windsor, who's in AEW, Mina Shirakawa, who's in AEW, Mercedes Moné, who's in AEW, Dani Luna, who I think is TNA or Ring of Honor, one of the two, Nina Samuels, who's mainly in Eve, and I forgot the other woman's name. And Kanji. That's it. Those are the only contracted women's wrestlers they have on their roster. They mainly have a bunch of men's wrestlers. They don't really book any show. That's why she has one defense for the belt against Kanji. They don't really have much women over there. So that's not really on Mercedes Moné that she's not defending the Rev Pro belt that much when there's just not many people to defend it against. As far as the New Japan Strong Women's belts, she's defended that one. Well, when she did have it, she defended like 6 total times. You could talk about that one if you really want to, but that's on Stardom as well, though, in my opinion. That's not on Mercedes Moné to not be defending that belt. Same thing with Rev Pro. It's not on Mercedes Moné. Like, I think people kind of forget these things, is that it's not on the wrestler to be defending their belts. That's on the company and how they book said wrestler to defend the belt or to not or to not defend the belt or to have matches or to not have matches. That's not on Mercedes Moné because she doesn't have the control that y'all think she does have. So it's like trying to say that, she's, not having matches with them and all that stuff. She's had a total of like 35 matches, if you include the TBS title matches as well. I mean, not TBS, the New Japan title as well. Since, first getting the TBS belt, and then getting the New Japan, then getting the Rev Pro, then getting the EWA, then losing the TBS and all that stuff. And the Owen Hart Cup Championship is literally just a championship. Like, it's not even one that you could defend, so, like, I don't know why we're even complaining about that. And she just got the CMLL Women's World Championship, which she will be defending on Friday against La Catalina. So it's like, probably shouldn't really be too mad at Mercedes Moné when she's literally defending a belt that she just won. So, yeah. And then the other comments that I've heard about, she's taking belts from indie wrestlers. Sweetie, do y'all not know that a lot of indie wrestlers aren't signed to indie companies? They're just kind of there on like appearance based and not really actually signed to these companies. Again, Rev Pro only has 6 women wrestlers. I don't even know how much EWA has. They're not listed. Like their roster is not listed anywhere. I couldn't find it, at least. I could try to find it and throw it on the screen, but like I'm pretty sure they don't have many either, because I follow one of them, and I've only seen her have matches against like 1 or 2 ladies. So yeah, at least in that company. So yeah, might not have too many women there. But it's like most indie companies are going to put a top belt onto a super duper megastar so that they can get their company bigger. They did the same thing with Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell had 3 titles in 1 month for 3 different indie companies. Why? Because she's Indy Hartwell, former NXT Women's Champion, very big in WWE. Well, not very big, but like very big within the WWE fan base. So it's like they're going to put belts on her because that's going to make a lot of WWE fans possibly go check out these companies. Same thing with Mercedes Moné. Rev Pro puts a belt on her. EWA puts a belt on her. CMLL puts a belt on her. It makes them even bigger. It helps them out even more. It probably also helps out their partnership with AEW as well. So there's also that. So it's like, this isn't on Mercedes that these companies want to give Mercedes the belts. I have another thing written down here as well. The other thing I have written down here as well is that most of AEW's women's division, because y'all say that she's tearing down the division, or that even that her and Tony are tearing down the division, not Tony Khan, Tony Storm. Most of the AEW women's division is locked within the tag division. Sky Blue, Julia Hart, Harley Cameron was there. Now it's Anna Jay, Ty Mello, Megan Bain, Penelope Ford, Serena Deeb, Queen Aminata. They're kind of locked in that. Athena and Billy Storm are now. Billy Stark's kind of like in the tag division as well. So it's like a lot of these women are all within the tag division. The only ones that aren't, Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, Thunderstorm, Jamie Hayter. We know how to Thunder Rosa. The first 3 we kind of already know their situations. Jamie Hayter, we don't know what the hell's going on with her. It might be another back injury. Not really sure. There's not much clear reports on that. So it's like there's not much there with that. If you want to say Tekla and Mina, they literally just got there, and Mina's kind of already involved in the Mercedes Tony feud. Tekla's involved in the Queen Aminata thing, and also just kind of attacking people in general. Might be involved in some Jamie stuff. So it's like there's literally nobody else there to face. And if AEW is going to introduce women's tag belts, they're going to want to push their women's tag division as much as they can right now, especially they're going to be debuting it at All In. So it's like, why? I mean, like, what is Mercedes Moné going to actually do within that women's TBS division? Fight the same people over and over and over and over and over and over and over? No, because then y'all would just say that, oh, she's just fighting the same people over and over, having pointless matches. Also, she's in the world title division. There's literally no one else for the world title division. So it's like she has to be there to have a feud with Toni Storm. So she can't really be in the TBS scene. It's the same thing like when she had the TBS belt. She couldn't defend these other belts at times because she had to defend the TBS belt first because she's contracted to AEW first. So it's like she's not actually hurt in the women's division either. If anything, the women's division I think is doing decent. Well, it's doing really good right now in terms of like where it's at. It needs to get more matches though. That's the only thing. And then as far as just Mercedes Moné in general, y'all got to remember that WWE, like 4 Horsewomen, Charlotte got her moments, Becky got her moments, Bayley got her moments. Mercedes Moné never really got her moment. She never really got her push at the top woman as the face of, women's wrestling in WWE. She never got that. Every other woman from the 4 Horsewomen did. So this is the run. So this push right now that Mercedes Moné is getting from AEW, this is what she should have got in WWE. This is what all y'all wanted her to have. Everybody said when she left WWE that she better get treated right, that the next company that picks her up, whether it is in AEW, they need to treat her right. She needs to be treated like if she's a superstar. Now that she's getting treated like a superstar, all of y'all are mad for some reason. Y'all all said that she needed to be pushed. This is the pushing that Mercedes Moné has always deserved. Women's Revolution, she's probably the start of the Women's Revolution with her and Bayley. If you go back and watch that Evolution, PLE, both women there even talk about how that she really is one of like the starters of the damn Evolution. She's been doing so much for women's wrestling across all the indie scenes. Like I've said before, she was able to get Indy Hartwell a big main event match in House of Glory. Got a whole men's match scrapped for a women's main event match. She's had multiple main event spots in New Japan. She was able to help put over Azumi. She's gonna eventually help put over the next women's talent in AEW. She's helping putting Kris Statlander on a much bigger stage because y'all talking about Kris Statlander now like as if she's the best women's wrestler on the damn planet because of them matches that she started having against Mercedes Moné. She helped Willow Nightingale. She helped put over Willow Nightingale. By being just such an amazing heel, she's now getting Willow Nightingale in a conversation where everybody wants to see Willow Nightingale possibly dethrone Mercedes if she does get the belt from Toni, which I think would be actually really damn great. I think she's only helping Toni Storm out a lot more because Mercedes Moné is, so dang big that when she came to the women's division, she made it even bigger. She got more eyes onto it. Now all of y'all is talking about Toni Storm. Obviously, a lot of it had to do with Toni and Mariah as well, but to be fair, Toni and Mariah wasn't getting talked about before Mercedes Moné got there, and that storyline was already starting off before Mercedes Moné even got there. So there's also that as well. So it's like she's put over the entire women's division, and that's all she's done for her entire career. She's put over people, put over people, put over people. She put over Charlotte, put over Bayley, put over Alexa Bliss, put over Bianca Belair, tried to put over Shotzi, but WWE just did not want to push her. Tried to push over Toni Storm, tried to put over Toni Storm in WWE, but WWE just did not want to push her either. She was helping put over just other women like Naomi and all these other women, and WWE just did not care. She's had a whole entire career of putting everybody else over. Why should she have to put over more people in AEW? She should not have to put over other women. She should finally get her moment. She's only 33 years old. She should get her time to be the superstar that she is so that she can be the number one woman in a company. She should get treated like number one woman in a company. She is the starter of the revolution. She is one of the biggest reasons why women's wrestling is the way it is today. Obviously, give a lot of credit to that to Chyna and AJ Lee and Trish Stratus and Lita, the 4 Horsewomen at the Collective, Emma, Paige. You give the people that deserve their respect. But Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks is also one of those people, and we just act like she's not one of those damn people. we always, not we as in me, we as in y'all, always act like she's not one of the biggest reasons as to why the revolution even started to begin with. That Bayley match, everybody says that is the start of the women's revolution. That is the biggest moment in the women's revolution. And so many people just act like as if that never freaking happened. Y'all will just allow everybody else to do all these things. You allow Rhea and Bianca and Sasha, and Charlotte and Becky and Bayley and everybody else, but let Mercedes Moné get her shine, and now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. It should not be a problem. This woman has put over so many damn women. She's been an inspiration for so many damn women. She's helped so many damn women that now it is her time to just, get her big push that she should have gotten WWE and she never got that respect for. And so that's why I'm so happy seeing 6 belts Moné. I love this, man. Hey, look at, man, you can say you feel bad for the wrestlers all you want. Cool. I absolutely love this. And I'm going to be real with y'all, man. No, the whole feeling bad for the wrestlers. Y'all ain't feel bad with Kenny Omega was a belt collector. Y'all ain't feel bad with Stephanie Valkyrie was a belt collector. Y'all don't feel bad that Indy, she had 3 belts. Y'all don't feel bad that Indy has 3 belts. Y'all weren't mad when Austin Aries was a damn belt collector. Y'all weren't mad when Ultimo was a belt collector. Y'all still keep talking about that damn picture, talking about how it's one of the hardest pictures of all time. Y'all wasn't mad when Kurt Angle was a belt collector. Y'all wasn't mad when any of the other folks were belt collectors or had triple belts or anything like that. So don't be mad when Mercedes Moné is doing the exact same thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, everybody is in control of their careers for the most part. So if Mercedes taking a belt off of you affects your career, sweetie, it really shouldn't, because Mercedes Moné became Mercedes Moné by having so many belts taken off of her. I'm just saying, it should not affect you. Cody Rhodes got fired. Drew McIntyre got fired. Tony Storm left. Swerve Strickland got fired. So if you can't lose a belt and still become a star sometime down the line, that's not on them. That's not on Mercedes. That's on you. That's just my opinion on that. But that's going to be from me, though, y'all. Y'all have a great one. For all the folks that listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts at, like, follow, share, rate, subscribe, comments, notification bells, all that great stuff. Definitely does help the podcast out so damn much. To all the Patreon subs, shout out to every single one of y'all. And if you aren't, already subbed to the Patreon, you guys got a little dollar lying around, in your bank account, you want to slide that over here, you can become one of these Patreon subs. Definitely do appreciate every single one of y'all that have been checking the podcast out, though, regardless of whether you're a Patreon sub or not. Y'all help just as much as the Patreon subs do. Y'all Patreon subs just go just a little extra further mile. But I definitely appreciate every single one of y'all regardless. Definitely hope y'all enjoyed this episode. A little bit of a longer episode, too. But that's going to be it for me, though, y'all. I'm out. Peace, everybody. And good night. Bang. Haha, Kenny Omega. Don't sue me, please. Please don't sue me.